Hey everybody and welcome back. This is Leapalot and today we're going to get back into some Final Fantasy VI. If you missed the last episode, I'll have a link for you in the video up above. You may want to take a peek at that just so you kind of understand exactly where we are. We're going to find two more named characters today. We'll add one of them to our party. We'll lose one of our party members for a little while. And we're also going to have a pretty nasty little boss fight, so not super long, but very dense video today. So let's get moving. Right away, we just need to kind of hop, skip, and jump across this small little continent here. We've been here before, but I believe I did cut it out. So this is called the Crescent Island. There's only one town here, and that's where we're headed. And we'll note, the music sounds a little different here. This is Strago's theme, and Strago is who we're going to go find now. So this old man here in his little cape. I don't really like Strago. He's like a blue mage, which means he learns the abilities of monsters when they use them against him. I don't know. I think he's okay. Some of those abilities are pretty good, but they're not better than the magic that you can learn if you just play normally. Either way, we go in and we talk to Strago and we say, hey, do you know anything about espers or magic or anything like that? And he's like, no, never heard of any of that. That's really weird. And then this little girl comes flying down the stairs looking for Grandpa. She checks us all out. She runs over to Grandpa and, I don't know, gives him a wedgie or something. And then we'll get a little naming sequence for her as well. This is Realm. She is better than Strago. She actually in a normal game can be pretty good. She has the capability to use Sketch, which is kind of broken in the Super Nintendo version of the game. It can cause some really nasty glitches, so we will probably never use it after this first encounter. But she also has a really high magic stat, and she can be a really powerful caster. So, pretty cool. She runs upstairs with Interceptor, Shadow's dog, which is surprising to Shadow because most people don't do very well with his dog, or vice versa, I guess. His dog doesn't do very well with people. Either way, though, after that, we're basically just told, can't tell you anything about espers, nothing to talk about espers here, so why don't you go look somewhere else? And we say, That's not sketchy at all, just the tone of it, if you're just listening. The tone of the way that he's talking sounds a little fishy, so we get Interceptor to come back down with us, and then we take a step outside. There are a few different scenes that you can see as you wander around the town. We're just going to do one of them, though, here. If we step back behind this large building, we see a little boy appearing to cast a fire spell on the bushes. Which, first of all, that's probably not a good idea. But second, that's magic. And so magic is supposed to be extinct from the world. I ran outside to save, just because this next sequence is pretty long. So you do have to see that sequence, and then we'll go to bed here. It costs 1 gold per night, so they really incentivize you to try to rest here. You probably would anyway if you're going to be grinding outside, but they're like, hey, it's only a gold, so. Then in the middle of the night, we've seen this before. Something's up. Strago comes in and just shoves Locke out of bed and says, something's going on. Realm's in danger. There's a fire at a neighbor's house. Please, won't you help? And, well, we're good people, so we will. Except Shadow, he's not good people, so he's going to stay in bed. Interceptor, though. Interceptor's a good dog. He went to go help. And so as Locke and Terra run away, we see Shadow is like, wait a minute, where's my dog? And then we cut to the outside here. Everything's got kind of a red hue. I actually really like this little scene. And we run over to this house, and we find out, oh yeah, Realm's inside there. Well, that's not where you want to be, and it looks like it's getting much worse. So Strago is freaking out, and he's going to kind of break the rules here, it seems like, because he yells, flames be gone. I'm glad that we don't have to say any silly incantations every time we cast a spell, but yeah, he starts casting ice or water magic or something on the house. And the rest of the villagers come up and basically they're like, dude, what are you doing? But I mean, she's just a kid, so they're gonna try and save her. So now we see the whole town kind of gather around into a little formation, and then randomly this last person comes in and ruins it. Now it's asymmetrical again, just kind of like the Cave to the Sealed Gate. So they're going to try and throw some ice magic, it kind of looks like and sounds like, onto the flames. And we get this really long, drawn-out sequence before it gets way worse. So it turns out there's a bunch of fire rods in that building. We had a lightning rod a little while ago that we used to cast Bolt 2. Same concept. Well, why don't we just go in there and grab Realm? And that's what we'll do. I skipped everything, but I had to equip Strago, give him some relics, give him an esper, and then we gotta get moving. The little fireballs in here are enemy encounters. You can technically, like, get around a lot of them, but they're pretty easy to run from, and we're not on a timer, so I just kind of scoot through the area. Like, I'll avoid them when I can, but it's not a huge deal. And encountering them does mean that we'll see them again later on the belt, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So a couple gimmicks with this area. Some of the doors lead to enemies. Some of the doors lead to little treasure rooms. We need that fire rod. We also want this ice rod. They'll both be pretty helpful. And then once we get to the end here, we go up a set of stairs, and this is where I really had to get people equipped. So this next fight is pretty tough, and we want to have some pretty specific stuff set up here. We need to have the Zone Seek Esper, Siren, and Golem. We're going to use all of those at the beginning of the battle to do some specific things. And then we just want to make sure that we actually have some decent equipment. And then it's a fight. I don't think anyone would say that Flame Eater is their favorite boss fight. He can summon bombs, which can explode. And that would give us experience, or balloons rather, sorry. So we're going to use all three of our espers here. We're going to use one to silence all our enemies so they can't use that explosion attack. That does mean that they'll attack us though, unfortunately. And then we used one to increase our physical defense and one to increase our magic defense. And that's where the battle actually kind of really starts. So we just need to kill the Flame Eater, but for us, he's too strong to kill, like, naturally. We can't deal enough damage fast enough to just beat him straight out. So fortunately, many bosses in this game die if you reduce their MP to 0, so that's our plan instead. We can use Rasp to reduce his MP, and then Osmos to drain his MP to refill ours when we can't cast Rasp anymore. And then meanwhile, we also need to focus on keeping Terra and Locke alive with Strago. Strago hasn't had a chance to learn much magic, or any really, so he's just a utility guy in this fight. We also have wall rings on everyone to reflect the occasional fire spell that the Flame Eater will toss at us. Even though we muted the rest of the enemies, he's immune to that. So this one got a little dicey. He eventually cast Reflect on himself, which meant that when I tried to cast Rasp on him, it reflected and targeted my side. And then he started casting fire spells on himself, which reflected to hit me. So that wasn't the best. But the Reflect status doesn't last forever, so we kind of just had to wait him out. You never want to end a fight with 4 HP on 2 characters and 1 dead, but the alternative would be dying, and we made it, so I'll take that crappy win. We just had to kind of stick it out and wait until the Reflect wore off, hit him with another Rasp, and down he went. After that, Strago starts having a fit. He's like, "Where's my granddaughter? Where's Realm?" And then, I mean, all you gotta do is take like 3 steps forward into the room. Interceptor is protecting her body from what appear to be flames, and then he'll continue to protect the whole party as, for whatever reason, we all go unconscious. I don't know if there's supposed to be like a falling beam or some other tropey thing that happens, but doesn't look good. Interceptor's kind of back against the wall, and then Shadow pops in from somewhere. Would have been nice if we could have taken whatever window he just jumped through. And then he's just gonna, I don't know, like anime kill all of those things. And then that's it. That's the end of the burning house. This is a pretty nasty little section of the game. That Flame Eater fight didn't go the best for me. I had to go through that a couple of times, and that's why you saw me make sure to get that save right outside the town. That little sequence can take a while, and I'm glad to put it behind me. After that, we wake up on the 2nd floor of Strago and Realm's house. We learn that there are actually people here who can use magic. I mean, we saw that, but they go into it a little bit more. We learn that these people were like mage warriors. They had a relation with the espers and with magicite. They can naturally use magic. And we'll find out that while they don't have espers or magicite anymore, there's something that's kind of been passed down along their genetics or through their bloodline over the years. And they're still able to cast some residual magics. Well, that sounds awesome. We could use all the help we could get, especially people that are talented with magic, because we need to try and negotiate with those espers. If Strago and Realm are from I guess, kind of a race of people that are naturally related to the espers, they might be able to help us. So, pretty handy. Strago tells us that he thinks the espers might be hiding in the mountains to the west. There's supposed to be some like heavy magical power in that area, which seems odd that nobody's just checked that out. After that, Strago will join us, but he tells Realm that she can't come with. I bet you will not be surprised when we eventually have Realm join our party because we named her. Then I had to try and find a hidden item on this map. I couldn't remember where it was. And I did have to pause for just a second and just hop online and look it up. I knew it was somewhere in that corner. Like I even tried over there, but I don't know. I must have missed it. So, memento ring. We'll want that for later. It's a really handy relic. Then we go outside and we hear Shadow's theme. That can really only mean one thing. We got to make room in our party for Realm, so Shadow's leaving. So yeah, Shadow says he's going to go on his own way, that he really only came to save everyone because he wanted to get his dog back. He's just being Shadow, so he's just being edgy. So yeah, he says he's going to go off and investigate kind of on his own terms. I don't know why he wouldn't just go with Celis and Leo if he didn't want to hang out with us, but it is what it is. Then Interceptor and Shadow will leave. Interceptor comes back for one little bark. And then Realm is going to go run and, probably cry because the dog left. That's what I would do. So that's all we need out of this little city for now. We're going to start moving towards the mountains that we heard about just a moment ago. But not today, because that is where we are ending it this time. If you want to see some more Final Fantasy VI like this, make sure you subscribe. If you have any comments for me, drop them down below. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video.